very important announcement.
The second very important announcement of this announcement.
The second. Exactly. Exactly. Finally, it's going to happen. Hopefully. No, I'm kidding. It's going to
The,
happen.
the announcement is I can finally share my screen.
The announcement is John finally surpassed the limits of his strengths and now he can share his screen.
Yeah.
It's a great advertisement for running a Linux machine. Only took
Oh,
3 years.
3 weeks. 3 weeks. We figured it out.
I am
Now I'm
happy.
unstoppable.
I am happy, John, with your progress.
Thanks. You want to see some progress?
I want to see progress. I want to share progress.
Should I just kick it off with progress, or do you want to start with something else?
No, Daddy. We need to cook this. This is an important moment. And to get us started, first of all, GM everyone. Welcome to the Atlas Brew number 194. And you can only see TBD in the name, but that's because Arthur didn't update the title that I sent him, which is Holocene Release Party and cool stuff. So today we are going to announce the release of Holocene, which is going to happen pretty soon, as we'll announce in just a little bit. And we also have many cool things to share. We are super excited about finally get you guys hands in this product. And today we are not going to pull anything back. John is going to walk us through everything that exists in Holocene. I'm also going to share some stuff that I have been personally working on, things that people believed that would never happen, but here we are. I will finally be able to deliver some of my promises, lore-related promises. I think it's going to be super cool. And Jim is going to give you guys a markets prediction and some AI updates. No, I'm joking. He's not going to be making any markets predictions, but he's going to give us updates on general stuff that he's been working on. He has some stuff that's going to mingle well with Holocene that we are going to discuss today. So get ready, get excited. It is time, finally time for us to get things done. And to kick this off, I want to start with some noteworthy news. And the first one relates to our friend PG. PG, as you guys know, an OG member of our community, is looking for testers for his new app, Star Seekers 2. He asked me to deploy this Google Doc form here to get community members to test his new app. As far as I know, it is a Star Atlas product. It's a Star Atlas game. He's super excited about this, and we always want to help our community members by giving them exposure, by giving them spotlights. PG has been working hard on this and in many other Star Atlas related products. So give him a hand, test the app, give him feedback. I'm sure he'll be happy and appreciate your efforts. So JitBlade is also sharing that there will be a pip about it somewhere 2-3 weeks from now. So if you play the test here and you like the content, make sure to vote as well and support PG on his pip. This is the first news that we have today. And for seconds, Jim, I'll put you under the bus here and ask you for the updates on Zinc and C4 related stuff. What can you share with us, my friend?
Yeah. Excuse me. So, yeah, I mean, the main thing that we've been working on with the Zinc is integration. Well, there was some performance and system performance improvement stuff that was done kind of from a cloud infrastructure level, and I appreciate Alex, who's on here, for doing that. That's one of the reasons it was down briefly as we did system maintenance. The other piece that actively working on for what we're about to announce with HoloSim is the direct linking of HoloSim to your Zinc profile, just like we do with Epic Games. And then, as I may have mentioned in previous things, being able to when you have achievements in HoloSim, which I'm assuming Xcode will walk through, those achievements will come to Zinc, and you'll get ZXP for those there. So that's kind of the main thing with Zinc over the last week. With C4, it's still going through rounds of internal testing and internal play, not even really testing, but really kind of playthrough stuff. Yves was on some vacation, and there's been just some kind of internal project reorg stuff. So I don't really have a major update on the C4. I'm hoping that this time next week I'll be able to give more info.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So what to do about nothing, but yeah, awesome. Thank you for the fidget spinner.
And now, before we jump into the main dish, I want to share with you guys something that I have been personally working on, something that has been promised a long, long time ago, and now it's finally taking shape. It is my time to share my screen. Why I can't share my screen? It's because John is sharing his screen. Oh God. Should
Uh-oh.
I ask John to
Biscuit.
unshare his screen and see if...
That was
Oh,
it.
John,
The
I'm
whole thing.
scared. I'm scared that you will be able to share it back now.
It's fine. They got to see the
Exactly.
loading screen.
They got to see the loading screen. It is enough for now, right? So yeah, guys, let me share my screen then. So yeah, we finally have or are really close to getting a functional lore wiki for Star Atlas. And I have been it's been a long journey of creating lots and lots and lots and lots of content for the Star Atlas lore. And finally, you guys will be able to have a proper grasp on the dimension of everything that was built. In terms of Star Atlas lore, you guys see like maybe 1 or 2% of it when you see the products that we have been delivering so far. But now, through the lore wiki, you'll be at least able to see everything that has been written about the Star Atlas lore, and well, you'll be able to familiarize yourself with the things that are going to make their track into the game. So, as you can see, we have plenty of factions that you guys probably have never even heard about here. We have files on species. So, for example, the Ustrus files here. It has the dates of the major events. It has explanations on everything, naming conventions, all the features of the Ustrus and every species of Star Atlas. We have all the manufacturers. We have the geography. I'm still adding the geography stuff. We have the different ages of Star Atlas here. So we have the Convergence War. We have things like Never Alone campaign. We have the whole story of Never Alone, everything that has been written there, how it relates to the lore. So, for example, you can see how the different factions are impacted by this. You can learn more about the cosmic currents and Star Atlas Zodiac. You can even learn about high risk zone materials, things that were never made public, and much more. Like, you can be literally days here reading, and you'll never and feel the whole content of the wiki. We have things like, for example, the different Ustur paths. Those are different philosophies and training structures that the different branches of the Ustur civilization uses to achieve enlightenment. You find the different factions of muds. You learn about assassins that lives in the shades of Gallia, and much more. Like, I think the people that like lore, like stories, like to see game lore and stuff, you have a full plate. You finally have a feast to learn and to deep dive more into the Star Atlas universe. Uh, Finally. So yeah, uh, that's the update that I have. I guess I am like 7 days away from making this public, something like that. Um, you guys will be able to see pretty much everything that I have been working on since my first day here in Star Atlas. So I'm super excited. I'll be surely collecting feedback. And also, something that I really would appreciate is if you guys can come to the lore channel and share what you liked, what you didn't like, because the next step for me here is I'm going to build that into the lore layer of C4. So every planet, every sector, every NPC that will eventually make their way to C4, they will have this backbone of lore, those systems, and then I'll start spouting things like RPG campaigns, books, and things like that. With the material that we have built, I can create pretty much an infinite number of stories and RPG hooks and books and etc. Even novels. It's pretty easy for me now to write them because everything now is structured. So yeah, this is from the lore front. Super excited. It's going to soon be made public, so hang in there. We are going to have fun. But now I'll leave it to John to give us the main dish of this Atlas Brew. The long-awaited Holocene release date and everything that we are going to share with you guys that you guys will experience in your first minutes of Holocene. So get ready because today is full alpha mode. We are not pulling anything back. This is for you guys because you guys have been so patiently waiting for us. I feel you guys deserve a first look before we release this product. And yeah, super excited to see you playing this now, John.
Awesome. Give me 2 seconds to get the screen going here. Screen share. Hmm. You guys see that okay?
Let's see. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So, nope. We got a nope. Couple things.
See it.
You do see it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the last couple weeks, we announced a release 2 weeks ago, and when it came down to it, there were some polished things that we really wanted to address. So I'd say that almost all of that has been addressed. We've got a ton of really good feedback from our playtesters in the last month of playtesting. We've aligned with them on basically every outstanding issue in Chapter 1, whether it was economy or alts or resource extraction or production. And so I think we have a build that's like very healthy from an economics perspective and from a gameplay perspective. We have a really rich story that we're going to tell. We've removed a lot of pieces that caused friction to the storyline. For example, these never-ending quests that required you to mine 1,000,000 of whatever, right? Like we do have some of that, but in very like context specific parts, and those parts don't block your progress in the game ever. So it may take you longer to do a quest, but you're not gated by that quest in any way. So a lot less friction. Anyway, I'm gonna fire this up. You're seeing the exact build that will be released tomorrow. If everything goes well here. You start off with this intro video. If some of you were at Breakpoint last year, you'd be familiar with this. If not, I'm gonna skip it so that you can see that another time. We're gonna go with Brew Test. I'm gonna pick Mud because I always do. Yeah, so we're gonna go through this.
We are releasing this tomorrow, right, John? This is the
Yes.
first piece of alpha.
That's the plan. Yeah, we don't have anything on our bucket list that is a showstopper at this point. We've been in that state for a couple days. There's still some changes to be made to, like I was saying, like to the storyline and the quests and stuff. So you may see something here today that isn't the right data or numbers or whatever that'll be there tomorrow. But that's kind of on purpose. So our playtesters were using this data to help them progress quickly. So yeah, so the first thing we see is the call to action for our Battle Pass subscription for the season. Battle Pass is good for the whole chapter, and it costs $10, same as last time. And you can also get a Battle Pass through a Zinc subscription, which is a monthly subscription, and that gets you guys points on the Zinc leaderboard. So I'm going to click no for now. Okay. So first piece of feedback is like we want new players to really be guided through the tutorial. So the tutorial is much shorter, but it's also very specific and it gives you instructions and it and you can see like we have this glowing element here that tells you where to click and she tells you where to click. So we've got a whole lot of hand holding that happens at the very beginning rather than kind of throwing people in. So I'm gonna click this glowy thing. I'm not gonna click here. They both do the same thing. They bring me into the tutorial. And I see that I need to claim a quest. I'm gonna do that. And
open a Starbase menu and click Details to see the mineable assets in each sector.
great. So we're gonna do that. Click the achievement section. I can see this is the meat and potatoes of chapter 2. Okay, you guys are trying to mine resources at every base that you possibly can. And these are all the mud bases, followed by the Ani and Ooster bases, and they're listed from by proximity to my central space station. And so the Nebula Utopia is the next closest non-mud base, and so naturally I'd come here and say, what do I need to do to take that base and get these achievements after I've done working on these? So done that. Now global rank is glowing because it wants me to carry out the second step. So I've clicked on the achievements thing. Now the global rank thing. I see Laranor is number 1 as usual. And yeah, I can see that I am 0 last place. I've got 200 XP. Okay. Back here, finish that. Okay. I'm not going to play through the whole
Where can-
tutorial. You guys will see tomorrow what the tutorial is like. But basically, we won't listen to the whole thing. But you can see the details menu down here. It's going to tell me you need to click details, and the details menu is glowing, which is great. And then you can see the progress bar went up on my tracked quest, and I come back in here and claim it. Now it says, what do you mine? Hover over a star base, and when I hover over a star base, that objective is completed, and I can see materials at this base are diamonds, and can see the rate at which I'll claim them as I'm mining, kind of thing.
And John,
And
can we take a second to just look at the different star bases? They look a
yeah,
lot better now.
yeah, for sure. So we
So,
have Exodus, have some asteroids, for sure.
so each one of those asteroids belts is a different resource, right?
Yeah. So each one corresponds to one of the available resources. So the blue one in the center is hydrogen, and then out from there is iron, biomass, and copper. And yeah, if I come in here, sorry, not that. If I come in here, you can see that there are multiple resources at the Central Space Station. This is for a reason, to give you more achievements to do, to prevent getting item locked when you're at your Central Space Station. There's more options to mine there. You don't have to like set up complex supply chains just to get R4. You can get all the R4 that you need right from your Central Space Station. You can also go through any of the quests that require these resources at the Central Space Station. Likewise, you don't need to leave the safe zone to finish the storyline. You can mine carbon and luminite, nitrogen, silica, titanium, gold, and diamonds in the safe zone, and you can get those achievements and you can finish the storyline without ever leaving the safe zone. The catch is that mining in the safe zone is a net negative operation. So you will be running out of the stockpile of starting resources that we give you the longer you stay in the safe zone. There's a few exceptions with certain materials. I'm not going to call them out, but the point is the safe zone is there for progress, for story, but it's not there to build your fleet. It's not there to climb the leaderboard with, although you can get some of the achievements done in the safe zone. It's there for teaching people how to play the game and having passive options for progress while you're logged out, while your fleet automations are going on. So yeah, fleet. Yeah, safe zone sucks. Yeah. Okay. So I'm being told the next thing to do is go to the hangar and form a fleet. It's like I still need to figure out why my ships aren't there.
You can buy a few in the market just to form them, right?
Yeah. And did I just break my screen share as well?
Yes, you broke your screen share.
All right, one sec. One sec, sorry.
And another cool thing that we have, I'm pretty sure we mentioned it already. The markets now are seeded with resources from the NPC wallets. So in this chapter of Holocene, you'll be able to buy and sell any material that exists in the game in every space station. But the prices will be heavily staked against you. So it won't be profitable, but it opens up the doors for you to get out of a hard situation by using this system, or even profiting from selling things that you take away from other players, and etc. John?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you still fix stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a Discord issue or if it's
No way, you were going so well.
another Linux issue or yeah, let's go, yeah. Where is this? Hang on. One sec. Oh yeah, okay. One second. Just gotta find the screen share button. All right, do you see the inventory loading again?
It is, yeah, the main
Okay.
page is loading.
Let's pick up where we left off. All right, so hey, come on. Come back, ships. Right. For the sake of making this fast, we're going to put lots of miners in there with just one of each of these. So great. So we've got lazy loading windows. You get status about your fleets while they're being formed. It's not just like you're waiting there for the blockchain to respond. We're going to rearm and refuel this guy. And we are going to check out our directives here. Open my fleets and give it mining orders. Right. So the next thing is to open the My Fleets window and to click on this guy. And so fleet orders are our new automation. We didn't want to call it automation. We wanted to be a little more gamify, like you're giving this fleet instructions, and those instructions are to mine at this location until you tell it to stop. Or you're going to tell it to transport certain cargo back and forth from a location until it's ready to stop, or you're going to tell it to patrol an area, right? So I'm going to give it mining instructions. I'm going to select Exodus. We're going to mine hydrogen because that's what the quest wants. I can either warp or subwarp. It's pretty intelligent, but there's still a warning to tell you warping uses more fuel and you can get yourself in trouble, especially if you're doing weird stuff. So warp is fastest. It's not always safe. Subwarp is always safe. And we're going to leave the drop-off location the same thing, and I'm going to deploy this fleet. And you can see that this card was updating all along the way. Like now that my instructions are to mine 50 hydrogen, it's keeping tabs of that there. And I can see these instructions as they're being carried out. It's going to top up my fuel tank. It's going to top up my ammo bank. It's going to, and then it's going to carry out those orders as it sees fit. Yeah, what else do we have here? So while it does that, let me come back to our window and just see if there's any like questions or anything.
There are a couple questions here, John.
Yeah, what do we got?
Is automation not calculating fuel for its distance as slide does?
So it is calculating fuel for its distance, but we're not using the slide calculations for these automations.
Okay.
So I did have a good hard look at all of the Sly stuff. There was a lot to be gleaned from how simple their stuff was and that it worked reliably. And so we tried to simplify our instructions. And our UI is it has to account for all the other things going on in the game. The Sly tools don't. They can simply ask a fleet in a current state to do something else. So I didn't end up merging the two things We ended up rewriting the route manager from the beginning after taking a good look at what they had done. And so, like, huge shout out to them for having a reliable system. And but the fact that our user interface is showing all these other fleets and it's keeping track of combat situations and all those other things, we had to make ours aware of all of that and make it performant regardless. So we weren't ready to do some on server. Yeah, I am sitting in an aquarium. Can you guys hear that still?
A little
That's
bit.
hilarious. That's so funny. My angelfish says hi.
It's all right. It's like the gentle music in the background to me.
That's too
Exactly.
funny. Yeah. So,
John, I think something cool to see, and Lerner offered himself to show us that is the NPC system.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm definitely not in the position to show that with this account. So,
Lerner, if you are still there, my friend, and wanna show people how the NPCs behave.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, while Lerner is changing to his new account, John, can you give the community like an overview of how the NPC system works?
Yeah, I can. Let me just pull up some notes here. Okay, so outside of the safe zone, you need to mine at these different bases to get achievements, right? And your mining rate determines how the NPC will respond to attack you, basically. Like, they don't want you mining there. These are their asteroids. So whenever you mine in a medium risk zone area, the game gets your mining rate, and then it will attack you based on that mining rate. Okay. And so a number of eco ships will spawn in just outside of the zone that you're in, and they will target your fleet that is mining first. Then they will target your other fleets that are nearby second, and if there are none, it will attack. Actually, this is a piece of logic that I'm actually just working through right now. The goal is that the NPC picks on you, and you alone, and you first, and you foremost. And if you are nowhere to be found, like you're not docked there and you're gone, like maybe you were destroyed, or you've warped back into the safe zone, then it will park itself there and attack other players in your faction at that base.
So basically, if you irresponsibly mine, you're also wrecking your faction, basically.
Yeah, there's going to be a reaction to every mining action, and either the player who causes the reaction, or the faction will have to deal with it, or else that system will just be filled with ecos bombers that will prevent you from mining there. So this does a few things. It forces players to think strategically about how much they mine and what they put in their fleets. Forces a regular use of ammo to defend yourself, and it prevents this just like pure extraction of resources. There's always an action and a reaction whenever you're gathering resources. So yeah, I think it's a really cool mechanic. I think it's going to help add some interesting dynamics and balance.
And how this works in the level X is asking, John. How often will they attack or reattack after you have fended them off?
Yeah, so you have to destroy them to fend them off. If you haven't destroyed them, then they'll keep attacking. Yeah. And those NPC fleets will be they will be their cargo holds will be filled with special resources. It's going to start with R4, but we're going to add other stuff. So there'll be like you'll be able to loot fuel and ammo and toolkits and things from them. So it's not just like a pure sink. We can help balance it that way. Yeah, so I see what you're saying. So after destruction, as you're mining, another fleet will spawn. You have to fight off that one. And another fleet will spawn and you'll have to fight off that one. So there's a timer that runs, and it's got some randomness to it, so you can't guess it. And yes, so you need to have fighters in your fleet. You need to have enough fighters in each fleet to fend off the attackers, or your mining ships will be destroyed. And so there's a constant barrage of enemies that attack you while you're mining.
John, Larino is sending his fleets to Mycenae 5.
Sorry?
He's sending his fleets to Mycenae, Larino, for the system.
Oh,
If you wanna-
actually, Leonor, did you want to share your screen? And then I don't have to look around for you. Or do we want to bring him up here and show him? Or do you want me
We
to
can.
look for it?
We can. Oh, he's on his phone.
Oh, he's on his phone. Okay, so is it this one? Am I seeing this?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Yeah, after attack, do they reset or re-attack? They just keep attacking and attacking and attacking. But while we wait for this, I'm just going to come over here and show you the command view. So these are not my fleets, but the command view is more like a mini game than it was last time. You basically use keyboard controls to switch through your fleets and target and attack enemy fleets. And as you do that, these fleets actually attack each other. Missiles come out and people get blown up. And as you repair your ships, repair drones come out and target your friendly fleets. Actually, here we go. Somebody's sending an attack right now down here.
Look
And
at that, boys.
the
We have
counterattacks are here.
missiles now.
Yeah.
We
Thank
have
you.
our little one Pokemons in space fighting each other.
Yeah.
This is so cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see what we got here.
Okay, Larinor is starting mining.
Okay.
So
Okay. So our notification system, you won't get the notification here that Larinor is going to get, but he will receive a notification saying his fleet has been targeted when the enemy spawns in. And he'll also receive a notification when he's actually under attack. So that's like account wide. Everybody gets those notifications. We have the ability to turn them off individually, as well as control the auto playing of the quest videos, sorry, and then some debug options. Yeah, we also have your Atlas counter here. Keeps you informed of your Atlas balance. Yeah. Yeah, so I think for playtesting, I think the tick for spawning fleets is every 10 minutes. So I don't think we're gonna see anything for a few minutes here, but yeah. Let's see, what else do we got? Definitely faster than 10 minutes. So it's on a 10-minute gate, so it could, if you started mining with only 3 minutes left on the timer, it would be in 3 minutes sort of thing. Yeah. Well, salvage missions or rescue missions also be in game. So each of the major ship lines, like ship roles, we'll call them, should have their own game loop. So this game loop is mining. We've taken mining to the nth degree here. We've given achievements for mining, and the next one that got an update was combat, and so you see the new combat view and new combat mechanics. We have scanning and repair, and crew needs an overhaul. So any one of those things could be or one or two could be the focus of the next chapter. And I think we'll decide once we see how well this one's received and what the pain points are, what pieces we're going to build next. But yeah, every mechanic that we have in its infancy, we want to expand on those and really make those more rich, right? So, definitely salvage, definitely repair. Medical ships. We want to give those all uses. And the other thing I want to do is like do story arcs for faction aligned ships. So we don't have Pierce and Theseus and Busan in this release, other than protecting star bases. So if you're an enemy faction and you say you were Ani and you came in here and you attacked
Style.
yeah, I don't know why it says MRZ12. We got to fix that. But say you came in here and attacked this base. When you start attacking this base, a wave of Pierce ships is going to spawn in, and they're going to defend that base. And the higher you upgrade the base, the heavier the response will be. So you'll have to get through that wave of Pierce ships there, and that's the only place that Pierce will exist in this particular chapter. So yeah, so we could do a different chapter later with different faction related ships. And
yeah, and you farm reputation with them. Maybe I like this.
Yeah. Actually, I know why this one changed its name. It's because we actually moved Alchemina Exile to a different location because it was the only crystals base that couldn't be reached by a single jump from the Mud faction. So Ani and Ooster could both reach their crystal bases with one jump from another base, and Mud couldn't. And so we changed that. And I guess I guess I just need to tell it that base is actually got that name, but something is wrong. Yeah, so Larinor, I'm right in the middle of updating the respawn logic. And so it could just be that the NPC logic is not working because I'm updating it, but yeah.
Guys,
so
any questions? Sorry, John, to cut
No,
you
yeah,
off.
go ahead. No, go.
I see Bakery asking about scanning, how scanning is going to work. And if you have any questions about Holocene or any details, feel free to ask. This is the moment to get the alpha from John.
Yeah, so scanning. Scanning is no long. Well, so you can scan in the safe zone, but you will not find any SDUs there. That's a big change from last chapter. You need to venture out into the medium zone. The same algorithm applies, but the program change just went in that prevents safe zone scanning from returning any results. So you can scan in the safe zone to pass a quest, but you cannot actually find SDUs there. You'll need to venture out into the danger zone to do that. So yeah, I call the safe zone the no free lunch zone. It's not there to. Yeah, no, scanning does not spawn NPCs. So, to put that in perspective, when we add scanning achievements, you will no longer be looking for SDUs. You'll be scanning for derelict ships. You'll be scanning to find hidden asteroid fields that are mineable with rare resources on them. And you'll be scanning to get achievements in those respective areas, right? And yeah, is this working? Yeah, so when it comes time to actually do those that update, then we will make things spawn in and attack you. Like, oh, you found a derelict ship, and when you loot the derelict ship, a pirate comes in because you fell for his trap or whatever, and you have to like you sprung the trap, and now you have to get out of it. So here's an example of a ship repairing another ship. So we've got this pretty cool animation of these drones coming out and repairing this damaged fleet. Claim stakes logic? Yeah, we could do claim stakes. I think if think of this in terms of the Starbase feature set. If we wanted to add things like claim stakes, we'd probably do that with a C4 version of HoloSim, where we have the new engine to play with, the claim stakes logic, and all of those things. So yeah, I see us developing these features and these story arcs with the current tool set, like with the ships that we have and the bases that we have. So.
Man, I love these drones working. The missiles animation. It makes the game. The ship the skins as well. It's super cool.
Yep. Yeah, it's awesome to see it all come together.
Karin is asking if he can warp out of the sector and escape the missiles.
No. So the once the animation is fired, the missiles have already done their damage. We just animate it in a way that it's cinematic, right?
It already happened.
It's already happened, yeah. Yes, you can launch a barrage against Laranor. That's fine. That's okay. Will pets be a thing? Oh, they should be. They're already, like, you see the little drones there. They could be little Tigus or little Puris, I guess. But... yeah, it's cool.
Karin is asking about how repairs work, John.
Mm-hmm.
If you
Okay.
use toolkits, how it works.
Yeah, one sec. So I'm gonna drop. So remember last season we had a spreadsheet that showed all the ship stats. So I'm gonna drop that link again here. There's the spreadsheet. And so repair is a function in that spreadsheet. Each fleet has its own repair value. Toolkits are burned, and ships' HP goes up. A fleet can target another fleet to repair. And in that case, the repair function comes from the one sending the repair. A fleet can repair itself. It uses its own repair function. And a starbase can repair a fleet, and it uses a separate function. It's very efficient and very quick. So there's none of this like, I have to click 500 times to repair my fleet from a starbase anymore. You click one time, the fleet's fully repaired. It brings a really good point, which is fleets that are destroyed in combat are sent back to the CSS, and they need to be fully repaired if you want to disband them. And so this is like a soft form of permanent destruction. There's a significant cost to losing a fleet in battle. There's the time cost, and then there's the repair cost. Your hull makes up a significant portion of your hit points, of your overall survivability, and so you'll need to repair those ships for them to be effective in combat. So you can't like disband a fleet at a starbase and reform it and get your hit points back. That's no longer a thing. There's a few really key changes here as far as like, I know alt accounts were a big deal last chapter, so we might as well cover that here. There's no peer-to-peer trading on the marketplace. There's no like game UI to remove items from the game, so you can't like share items between accounts. We have the ability to track accounts that pull things out of the game and move them into another wallet. And so if you do remove anything from the game through a automation tool that you've built or some on-chain program, we will remove you from the leaderboard. You won't be getting any prizes. So you may run multiple accounts and you can run them together if you want, but you cannot share resources between those accounts, and you cannot actually transfer items between each other, between fleets in the game. So cooperative gameplay is encouraged. Multi-boxing is fine. We've taken great lengths to balance the amount of crew that people get for this chapter, and we think that it's if you have the skill to manage 2 accounts separately, you can do that. If you have the time to do that, you can do that. But those 2 accounts can't really help each other directly. Not through resources, anyways. Yeah, and like one thing you'll notice, like, yeah, it should be pretty hard to run multiple accounts. Yeah, trying to think if there's anything else that we wanted to cover.
John, and about the blockchain, where will Holocene run? Maybe
Yeah.
Jim can.
Yeah, so Holosim's running on AtlasNet still. We completely reset AtlasNet and redid it as if it was a Zinc system. Like it's got all its upgrades, and so it's on par with Zinc's code base, and the nodes are running the same code as a Zinc cluster would be. But we're still going to call it Holosim. Sorry, AtlasNet. It's a separate cluster. The reason to move to Zinc would be that Zinc is launched, that we want a separate system for Holosim Dev and Holosim Main. We're just not ready to take on that overhead right now, and we had enough things to kind of tackle this chapter. So yeah, we could easily move to Zinc. This program is compatible with Zinc. It's essentially a Zinc cluster. We're still calling this one AtlasNet, though. So.
Very cool.
Yep.
Guys, any last questions about Holocene? I see someone asked about the colors in the fleet icon. Arad is just answered. Red is health, blue is shield, and yellow AP, which is action points. People are asking about the prices, John.
Prices for what?
I guess you're asking about the Holocene Pass, Bob. If you can clarify. The code for today is tomorrow. Code tomorrow.
Prizes for the leaderboard.
Ah,
I
prizes.
don't have a list of prizes yet.
We'll probably make them public tomorrow, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're making this a 2-month chapter. There's a reason to still debating having more than one prize point, if that makes sense. Like an 8-week chapter is a long time to try and compete for a spot on a leaderboard. So we're still talking about possibly breaking that up into smaller chunks, splitting it in the middle or splitting it into 4 or something like that, 2-week chunks. But certainly there will be a prize pool. Just want to make sure that we all agree on how long it'll be running for and all that kind of stuff. So Yeah. So okay. So for the faction territory control thing, so we did make some changes there. But in the past, um, the faction got the leading faction got a badge, right? And sorry, I didn't explain the territory control, the Dominion badge up here. So let me back up and do that real quick. You can see how many star bases you own here at a glance. So Mudda has 18, Ani has 17, Ooster has 16, and there's a total of 51. And then you can verify which are currently owned by you through the achievements view. So that territory control marker is to give you an indication at a glance of how many bases you can mine at, right? This is very much a solo achievements and leaderboard game. Yeah, so there isn't two prize pools like there was last time around. There's nothing for there isn't a separate prize pool for completing the storyline. I think that the cosmetic badge that we gave to players on the winning territory last time, that cosmetic badge will go to players that finish the story. So it'll be an achievement in its own right to say, oh yeah, I got this badge for finishing the storyline. And that storyline is simple and it's short. It's not a 2-month story. It's like you could do it in a week kind of thing. So that's where that cosmetic would go. We wouldn't have that second prize pool. And then the primary prizes are going to go to the leaderboard through the global rank system. And I haven't decided what to do for the territory, the people that win the most territory. And that's why that is like still just a placeholder, right? Again, it's an important part of the leaderboard, but it is not an important part of your personal goals for this chapter. Yeah, man, if you want to self-sabotage bases, I'm not sure how you would do that, but if you want to run 2 accounts, you can. You can go and run one in the enemy faction. Yeah, the NPC there is meant to. Oh, okay. Clarifying question. Yeah, trigger NPC doc. Yeah, that's fine. The NPC targets you, and you alone, while you're in the area, right? So you could do that one time. And you could do that one time for every base if you wanted. Sorry.
It only attacks other people if you leave the Carino.
Or you're just yeah, sorry. And so this is the part
destroyed.
I'm actually working through this logic right now. The order is attack the player that triggered it, the fleet that triggered it, attack the player if he's there but it wasn't his fleet, right? Like if it's a separate fleet. Or wait for him, right? So if you're there, if you exist, if the fleet still exists, that fleet will sit there and wait for you. It is up to you to defeat that fleet. If you're destroyed by the NPC, or if that fleet's completely disbanded or something, then maybe that one goes on to something else. But what you're talking about is a lot of work and a lot of time to go and actually trigger that response, just to cause an NPC to spawn there. People who are progressing on the leaderboard will be fighting these NPCs at every minute of every day, right? And so one extra fleet there isn't going to be a huge deal in the grand scheme of things. Yeah, others of the same faction can help destroy the fleet, right? So there is if you think about it this way, the faction's total mining rate will be equally responded to by the NPC, right? So if you have one faction that's much smaller, you're going to have a lot less NPCs to deal with. They just naturally have a lot less people mining, and the rate that they're mining at is less, so they won't have as big of a thing. The mining rate responses have a curve to them. Right? It's not this linear thing. It's like as you have more and more mining rate, multiples of the fleets start spawning in, so it gets more and more difficult. I don't think it's possible to just fly in, start mining a little bit, dock, and just be like, haha, I've broken this base. No, like that one fleet there, there's going to be 10 people mining there. There's going to be 11 of those fleets, right? So collectively you destroy them, individually you destroy them. Not a big deal. Yeah, so we don't have permits this time around. I removed that from the game completely, although the mechanic's still there under the hood. Not planning on doing anything with it right now. An enemy fleet can help the NPCs, yeah. Like if I'm mud and I fly into Ani space and there's mud NPCs there, yeah, for sure I can go and I can take part in that battle, right? Yeah. It's hard to move up towards commander fleets. Yeah, it should be hard. Yep. Yeah, it's really expensive. If we take a look at some of the, I don't know if I can see these. I'm not on my test account. This is a new account. So mining ships also have significantly more crew requirements than fighters, right? So you can pilot by the end of the in 2 months from now, you should be able to pilot about 4 commander miners, maybe, right? If one of those 4 commander miners is destroyed by an enemy or by an NPC, yeah, capital miner, you've lost a quarter of your mining capacity for that day, right? This is a very, very important thing. Like, if you put your guys on autopilot and you fly them out into the MRZ and you lose them for a day, you've effectively lost all of your mining capacity for that day and all of the crew that would go along with it. Right? You need 200 crew to station one of these miners. You only get 800 crew over the course of the whole thing. So there's like real consequences about decisions and like moving fleets around and stuff, right? So,
John, just to
yeah.
close here,
Yep.
what's going to be the criteria for the leaderboard?
Yeah,
It's going to be XP, right?
yeah. So there's two ways to gain XP for the global rank. The first is by doing the story, and that is a contributing factor. And the second one is by getting achievements, and you can see how much XP you get per achievement in the achievement view. When you click on it, it'll tell you it's this one 700,000 XP, 70,000, 7,000, 770. Right, so this one here, also 700,000. Let me go to a different place. So it's 500,000 for this one. I think it's like the further you are from your CSS, the more XP you get. So you get 2 million for doing Arco at Pavo, right? You get 2.1 million at Kalma. Yeah, STUs are used to build ships still. Yeah. And to upgrade star bases. Yeah.
Also awesome. John, I think we are already over the hour, and we need to leave something for the people to figure out when the game releases, right?
I gotta play it.
They gotta play the game. They gotta play the game.
I'll just
let's-
refresh so they can see the battle pass screen here. If I can.
Okay.
And then they can get an idea of what those rewards are. Battle pass is a important piece of this whole puzzle. Yep. Don't give any sense if we lose our crew. Yeah, so you don't lose the crew. They're tied up in the destroyed fleet for a day while the fleet respawns. So yeah, we're not talking about real mainnet assets either. These are all in-game free to play, free to earn game stuff, right? So yeah, so here's the battle pass rewards. You get 10 times bonus on your daily Atlas rewards. So instead of 100 Atlas, you get 1,000. You get double crew. Currently, it's set to 10, so you'd get 20 crew on your daily check-in. And then your streak rewards are a 35% increase. So you get I think the streak every 3 days you get 5 more crew. So you also get that avatar border.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. I think it's time for us to close, John.
Yes, I agree.
Guys, pay attention. We are going to announce anytime soon
You'll get
the
the
launch of
counter.
Holocene.
You'll
You
get
get a
the
counter.
timer. Yeah, I'll get the timer
There,
up on the board.
there will be a timer. We will post this. Keep track of it because things are going to get intense. Things are going to get intense, and you want to perform well in this season. Uh, all right, John. Thank you so much for this very detailed explanation. Jim, always a pleasure. Audience,
Did a lot of
thank you.
talking today. It's the best
Yeah, you
kind.
exactly. You saved us today, Jim. Thank you for your service.
Always.
And yeah, guys, tomorrow's going to be exciting. So join us tomorrow. Be with us because Holocene is about to start. Thank you all for being here with us today. May Iris and the Cosmic Currents bless you tomorrow in Holocene. We'll see each other tomorrow. Bye bye, everyone. Have a good day. See ya.
You guys.